Everybody, it's Duke again, and we are on to Module 5. So, Module 5 is talking about you gotta answer at least three of the questions. I'm going right on to the first one using the text to discuss the assimilation process. If you're currently working on one, talking about how you were assimilated into your most recent job or how you participated in the process of bringing in a new employee into your organization, be specific and use your language in the text. Um, so, on on page 102, it starts talking about assimilation college students. I took it to basically everything outside of, well, I did use it in college a little bit when I my first go around, but I used it mainly when I moved from Brazil. I was born and raised in Brazil. I moved to the United States, North Dakota of all places. So there, I barely spoke any English. And in the book, it's talking about the six different tactics that one can use, ranging from all of them or one or two here and there. The best one that ever worked for me best was surveillance. It kind of has a little bit of a negative connotation to it, but it's just basically paying attention to your surrounding or that atmosphere in a sense. So for me, when I moved to the States, I barely spoke any English. So a lot of it was visual, paying attention to verbal communication. Nonverbal is how people interacted with one another, especially within like a class. So you got to see that quite a bit. People being in their natural environment. So when I even went into the military, going to shop or base to base, I had to kind of assimilate myself into those organizations or those different units, and just pay attention to how people are interacting with one another, seeing if there's any other subcultures in a sense between it. When I moved from here to my first duty station was in Japan, so I had to not only to do that within the military organization, but I also had to do it with the cultural aspect of the entire Japanese country and their culture. So a lot of it was just paying attention. And then one of the things that helped me out was try to get ahead of the curve by searching stuff and on the internet to try to figure out ways that I could mitigate some of that process, making it a lot easier for me to be part of the group in a sense. And then we'll go into question 3. According to our authors, what strategies are necessary when adapting gender differences in workplace? What conversation rituals followed by men and women in the workplace? So, sorry, I keep switching back and forth. Some of the strategies that the book refers to on page, let's see here. I had page number on the notes. No, I sure didn't. So this is on page 110. It's very brief, couple of paragraphs talking about the differences between males and females when they were talking within a worker organization. The book talks about women being more detailed, full explanations, and men are more short and very like report like. They bullet format almost in a sense. Some of the strategy, the other things are women seem to be wanting to build more of a rapport, more of a conversation, get into it. Men just communicate again in the report time and manner. They just want to get things done to move on to other things. Some of these strategies, it talks about if you're a male and you're talking to a female, you're trying to get some of that rapport done, right? Or vice versa. For example, I do work with a lot of females within the military, so when I do call them, I'm like, hey, how's it going? How's your weekend? And we get into a whole conversation in a sense. Talking to men, in fact, it just happened this week. Actually, not this week. Today was with I called a male, and I was just first time I haven't talked to him since last week. I'm like, hey, how's it going? How's your weekend? And he just blatantly just like I don't think he even thought about it. He just stopped me. Hey, what can I help you with? Type of thing. So there's that difference in the strategy. Is kind of you want to play both sides to kind of help again have a better working relationship at work. And then number 4, evaluate why comparing and contrasting is considered the best way to understand generational communication. Make sure to cite both. Make sure you use and cite text in your response. This one was one of the bigger ones that had a lot more ground to talk about. In the book, Generational Differences go through page 114 through 117. It does give you some different perspectives and different scenarios and how to deal with generational gaps within your workforce. And I think understanding the principle of comparing and contrasting and engaging in the actual adult-like conversation of mutual understanding and respect, where each other's size is heard, understood, and taken into consideration, and other tasks in the future is key to the success of that workforce. So, again, being in the military, I bring a lot of this stuff because that's a lot of my communication and my experiences through the military. So, I've seen it happen, where people who've been in for 15 plus years feel as if they know everything, right? And the young guy, couldn't have possibly know half of the stuff that he does. But there are chances that could be wrong. That train of thought could be wrong. But also on the other side too, where these young guys might think that they know everything under the sun, when in reality they don't. They haven't had the experience behind it. So being able to sit down and hey guy, I know you new here. I know you're a fresh set of eyes. I know the process is a little outdated. How can you help me with it? And the same thing goes with the other guy, right? If that younger guy is in a leadership position, it says, hey, this is how I've been doing it for this short amount of time. However, you were the seasoned guy. How can I help you? Or how can you help me get to the point that we were at? So it's a lot of adaptation versus innovation and vice versa that will get that workforce going, and being able to sit down and put differences aside and have that mutual respect, where you guys are coming together as a team, opposed to fighting with one another for no reason, really. So that's all I got, guys. Hopefully you guys have a good week. I look forward to hearing and seeing some of you guys' response. I'll talk to you guys later.